Hello friends. Marketing of course is all about your consumer or your customer, right? And we do need to know them very closely. We are going to spend more time on this a little bit later in our next few videos, but today I'd like to discuss an essential part. This is known by various names, okay? The consumer journey, the path of the consumer, patient funnel, consumer funnel. What I like to call it is the consumer decision making journey. It's very important for us as marketeers to have a very clear idea of what the consumer journey is all about. What are the steps, how she thinks while thinking about the category, not even the brand, right? How does she think about what are the triggers? What are the various sets of evaluation that is done? How does he or she measure competitive brands? What happens at the point of purchase? We'll go more into this, but first, there are two models which I thought I'd discuss with you. There are of course various models in the market. There are two which are very important. First is the AITA. So, awareness, interest, evaluation, trial and adoption, right? This is basically for new products, and as the name implies, first you get aware about a product, then you start showing interest in it, then the consumer or customers has a trial, evaluates it further and then adopts it. More important here is this is like a decreasing funnel, right? You have obviously more people who first become aware of a product. Not everyone will then show interest in it. Then lesser number will try it, right? So that makes sense. McKinsey on the other hand got out a very good concept called the consumer decision journey. Again, this is more an iterative, it's more like a loop. There is a trigger, then there is evaluation, then there is point of purchase. And very importantly, after the point of purchase, they talk about how the product is not only adopted, but it is repurchased. So there is a loyalty element. This probably makes little more sense. Again, friends, what is important here is not the name of the model, but how you actually trace the entire process and how you use it. Let's consider an example now. Say for the purchase of a cough syrup. Generally, since I handle this category, it's the woman of the house who makes this decision, right? That's what research shows. Let's take an example, hypothetical, totally. Let's assume that the target group we've identified is a mother, a mom, could be working or not working. Then she decides the cough syrup for herself, her children, as well as whoever are the elders, her parents or in-laws living in the house, right? And let's also, for the sake of this example, presume that the net income of the house, all put together is 75,000 rupees per month, up to about 1.5 lakhs. So not super rich, but a fairly well-to-do family. Now let's look at it. How does a trigger happen for a cough syrup, right? Now, couple of things definitely might happen, and that's where each segment is different. So see how this entire journey will, have various arms. The trigger could be a child in the family who starts coughing, or a grown-up or an elderly person. The grandfather in the family starts coughing. Immediately the mother thinks that, oh, is it the season for coughs? We need to stock up. Or it could be, say in West India, monsoons come from around June, end May, June, July, right? But let's assume in around June, someone coughs and you see the onset of the monsoon, and then the mother thinks, I need to stock up on cough syrups. First step, the trigger. What's the second step? Now, at times, you're very clear, this is the brand that we purchase each time. So either call up the chemist or send someone to purchase the brand. You may not be clear and you want a cough brand. So the step of getting the cough brand is same, but the next step becomes different. You go to the chemist and maybe ask the chemist there. Now I'm assuming that this is all an OTC product and there is no prescription product involved here, right? We don't want to break any rules. This is just for example. Now the second step could also be the mother has heard someone coughing and feels that let me ask someone else for advice, let me look at some herbal cough syrups. So she might call up her mother who lives separately on what are the herbal cough brands that you use. In Maharashtra, is it an Adolsa? Is it some other herbal brand for some company that she uses? There could be another path that the mother decides, no, this is a cough for my child or my father-in-law, let's go to the doctor. Right? Now see, this is the third path. Now this path can also have different paths, right? You go to the doctor evaluates the cough. If it's a child or a slightly more grown up person, they says, "Arey koi zarurat nahi hai. Let's just have little bit of gargling for 2 days. It will be fine." At max, the doctor could write an anti-allergic tablet, take it in the second day. If it doesn't go, 3 days, it's enough, right? Again, no doctor's advice. We are just going hypothetical situation. Now, same thing, now you go again to the retailer. So have you seen to the retailer or the chemist, what are the different pathways that can take you there? That's important. Again friends, what you call the path is not important, right? You should be able to delineate each path and know about it and know what's going on in the customer's mind, right? Think more deeply about this, and this is really important. Now, understanding each step or the path is a start. You need to go now deep into each step. Now, how does this correlate to your marketing plan? For example, you have to figure out, am I most likely to win at the retailer, at the chemist? Is that where I want to compete? You might find, no, there are too many brands competing over there, but you have advertising money. So you might say, I want to be, when the mother is getting the trigger, so you might want to do TV and radio ads at the start of every season. Remember we talked about at the start of the season is where the mom thinks of stocking up the cough syrup. Now if you are a big company and a big brand well known to the consumer, you might want to take your fight over there, because you know your other cough brands, which are your competition, will be stronger at the point of purchase and also maybe at the doctor's clinic. But you are the one who has both the consumer equity and the money to win at this particular point, right? That is having, we call it pre-triggers, right? It doesn't matter what you call it, right? It is before the mom even thinks about purchasing a brand, you kind of seed it with your ads that, you know, the cough season is approaching, think of stocking up the brand in your house. Not these words obviously, but get that messaging in. Now you might on the other hand be a cough syrup brand which is very strong at the doctor level, prescription level, right? So you may think, let all the OTC brands go, you know, over the counter brands, consumer choice brands go. When they go to the doctor, I am going to be so strong in my marketing messaging to the, let us say, the pediatrician or the general physician who looks at patients who come with a mild cough. I'm going to be so strong over there with my brand that that's where I will focus on. Right? Again, it could also be that the consumer brand wants to focus, yes, on the consumer itself, but also at the point of purchase, which is what? The chemist. Now you want to put in more money and resources over there, so you could take a shelf space, you could have campaigns where your brand stands out among the others when a consumer goes to purchase. You might want pamphlets and leaflets at that point. So again, see how strategy is dictating your tactics. That's what the consumer path is all about. And now here is the trick. Here is the tricky part, let me say. You might want to compete on 2 levels, right? Should you go on a 3rd level also? The consumer, the retailer, the doctor? Ideally, yes. But remember, marketing money and marketing resources is finite. You have to be very smart in where is the battle or where is the battlefield that you pick where you want to win where you want to wage your war and then win over there, right? I hope that's interesting. This is one of the most fundamentally exciting parts about marketing, and it's tough, right? You need to understand your customer, her journey, various channels in and around the journey. It's tough, but it's important, and you must start from here. So we've discussed how important it is to understand the consumer decision journey, what are the various steps and how we can actually think about taking decisions there. In the real world, it's difficult, it's not easy. We all have our operational jobs, right? And you cannot commission a research every time to understand every 3 months what the consumer journey is. So whether you're a budding marketeer or you are a fairly established marketeer handling a big brand, the way I would advise you to go about it, keep talking to your customers, keep talking to channels, look at what's happening, how the mom in the example that we talked about, how she's actually making her decision. Are there changes? Are there other competitors who are coming in? keep abreast of what's happening in the market. And yes, for sure, put in the formal market researches when possible, when you have the time and the money, right? Clearly before your brand planning process, about 3 or 4 months before you start making your planning, you should have a formal research commissioned, which looks at each step and gives you pointers to where you can take your decisions. Here's Abhishek signing off on this very interesting, important, in fact I would say crucial part of your marketing journey, the customer decision journey. See you in the next video. Bye.